Well, hey everybody, and welcome to our midweek update live from New Hope UMC. My name is Andrew Covington. I'm the pastor here, and we're so glad that you have checked in with us to this live midweek update. We want to get you plugged into everything that's happening in the life of the church, specifically talking about worship this week. So just remember, make sure you've marked your calendar, save the date for November 1st for our trunk or treat. It's going to be a drive-through trunk or treat. We hope if you're a church member, you're bringing in candy and dropping it off, that you're planning to be here that afternoon to have your car prepared for folks when they arrive from 4 to 6. Now, if you're not a church member, if you're somebody in our community, we would love to invite you to come. It's going to be from 4 to 6 on November the 1st, and it's going to be an awesome time where we celebrate the fall season and just have a great time with candy and costumes, and we'd love for you to be here. So, as I was saying, talking about church this Sunday. So, we've been in the middle of our series, The Treasures of the Transformed Life, and we've been talking about different images. We talked about the image of the well pump and priming the pump and how we prepare to receive the blessings of God, and we talked about in week 2 the well bucket, how we collect those blessings, how we give and put in. And then this last Sunday we talked about this cold glass of fresh water, how we serve others, how we share the good news, how we offer a drink to others. Well, this Sunday our series is coming to an end, but in a pretty grand way. Hopefully last week you received a letter in the mail from me. It looked kind of like this. It's got our Transformed Living logo on it. And it talked all about this Sunday, all about the conclusion of this series. Talked about the commitments that we together as a church will make to live into God's preferred vision for the future of our great church, to do more and to be more in the new year. We talked about offering that drink and meeting the needs of others in our community. We talked about giving, and we talked about serving. And so this letter kind of explains a little bit about that, about what this Sunday is going to be. If you didn't get a copy of it, let me know. I can email it to you, or you can swing by the church and grab a copy. But the series concludes this Sunday with our title being Jumping In with Both Feet, being willing to fully dive in and to go, as we talked about that first week, into deeper waters, into places we might feel a bit unsure about, but are the places where God works in our lives. And so you got this commitment card with your letter. And you're probably like, oh yeah, it's the fall. The preacher sends us a card and asks us how much money we're going to give next year. But this is different. This is something much different than that this year. This is a commitment card where you will make a commitment for the new year, but we've already adopted our budget. We already know where we believe we can stretch ourselves in the new year, but what we want to do is ask, what is your commitment to transformed living in the new year? So that looks bigger than money. Yes, money is a part of it. Giving is a part of it. We've talked about that every aspect of this series, but it's also about our presence. It's about our worship life and our prayer life. It's about how we serve, how we will serve others. So you'll see on the card, it says, I pledge that I will grow in my commitment. We're talking about growth in the new year. So we begin by saying what our financial commitment will be. This is the part that may feel like a card you've filled out many times before, where you simply say, I commit to give X number of dollars per week, per month, or annually to the church. And on the back, we've given you a little chart that'll help you think about where God's calling you to stretch further into the new year. If you've been giving 1%, maybe you go to 2%. If you've been giving the full tithe of 10%, maybe God's calling you to go beyond that this year. But it doesn't stop there. It's not just about how much money are we going to give. That is a huge part of it. We spent an entire week talking about godly finances and how we honor God with our finances. But it also says, my attendance commitment is blank number of Sundays per month. What we're talking about here is our presence, our worship life, our prayer life. How will we physically be present in the life of the church this year? And it goes even beyond that to what we were talking about Sunday, about serving others, about offering that drink to others, and says, my service commitment is to serve blank new ways in 2021. Maybe you say, I've always sung in the choir. Keep doing that. But what else could you do? Maybe you've not come and volunteered to read books to the kids in the preschool. Maybe you've not volunteered to go and help with our food ministry at Chestatee Elementary School. Maybe you've not come and answered the phones during the week or helped out in the office. Think about what are the new ways, in addition to what you're already doing, that God is challenging you to stretch and to go a little bit further in 2021. Because I believe that as a church, God is calling us to something new and something bigger in this new year. The community is hurting. Everyone around us is going through this pandemic and struggling. I've said before, think about how hard it is for us as a church going through this. Imagine the hopelessness that you would feel if you didn't know Christ. So I want to invite you to pray over this card, to pour over this card with God, and to ask how you'll respond to those things. What will your giving be? What will your presence be? And what will your service be in the new year? And then what I want to do is invite you to bring this card with you Sunday. Now, as I said last Sunday, if you forget it, we have extras. Don't turn around and go back home. We've got extras. But our image of the well pump and the well bucket and the glass of water will be concluded with the image of these cards on the altar. As we lay our commitment, our sacrifice, our stretching to go farther in the new year here on the altar and dedicate those commitments to God, that He would honor them. Now, I know that in the past people may have said, well, I don't fill out a card because something might change with my situation, or I may have to not be able to give as much as I thought. That's fine. Make your commitment based on where you are right now and where God is leading you right now. If something changes within your situation, simply call the church office and you can make that change. This is simply a commitment that you're making based on your situation right now. I know many people filled out commitments last year and then coronavirus hit and it changed everything for you. We understand that those things happen. We're hoping that our church is going to grow in some pretty amazing ways this year. So that means that for somebody that might have to move or might have to cut back on their commitment, hopefully someone new will come and fill out a new pledge that will fill that void. That's how church works. That's how God works. So friends, in the letter I issued a challenge. I said that our challenge this year is we want 75 commitment cards filled out. Last year we had about 35. And the height over the last few years has been about 85. I want to challenge us because I believe, as I've said before, God's doing something amazing this year. So I want to challenge us to have 75 commitments. That's families, giving units, family units, whatever that is. But I want to challenge us to have 75 commitment cards. I think God could blow us away. We could have 100. But I want to challenge us to have 75. If you've never made a commitment like this, what a great time to start. Right as our church is beginning to explode in some new and exciting ways. If you have done it in the past but haven't done it recently, what a great time to start again. But I want to encourage you, whether you've never committed before, whether you've done it in the past and you haven't done it recently, or whether you do it every single year, to come Sunday with a card. Now, I know that many of you are still worshiping virtually, and that's absolutely fine. You can drop that card by the church office. You can drop it in the mail, however you want to get it back to us, or you can bring it by Sunday morning and hand it to an usher, and if you're sitting outside, and we'll bring it up to the altar for you. But we want to get everybody to get these cards in so we can get them on the altar, so we can pray over them, and so God can start to do some amazing things here at New Hope. Friends, I just believe, and I hope you do too, that God is up to something amazing here. And I believe He's going to blow us away. And I think it starts with us committing. What will our prayers, our presence, our gifts, our service, and our witness be in 2021? I can't wait for Sunday. I think it's going to be an amazing day of celebration together as we make our commitments as a church back to God, who's always been committed to us and who's committed to do amazing things in this community through this church. So I can't wait to see you Sunday, whether it's virtually, online, or whether it's right here in person. Don't forget, we've got our new live streaming set up. I'm using it right now. You don't have to have Facebook to live stream the services. You can go on Facebook and it'll be there. You can go on YouTube and it'll be there. But you can also just go to our church website, and at the menu bar across the top, right next to the logo, you'll see live stream. If you click on that, it'll take you right to the live stream, and you don't have to be on Facebook or anything else. You can go right to the live stream right there and be plugged in and be with us in worship. Friends, I can't wait to be with you Sunday. I can't wait to see what God's going to do. I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to blow us all away, and I think we're going to see this church do amazing things that are bigger than anything we could ever imagine. I'll see you Sunday morning right here in person or online. Remember, if you're coming in person, make sure to email, call, let us know so we can make sure we've got a seat reserved for you, and we can't wait to see you Sunday. See you then.